Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and welcome to beautiful Paris. Although I may feel most at home in London, Paris remains my favorite city in the world. There's a beauty, a romance, a rhythm to this city that is simply unmatched. And it's always great to be back. Paris, of course, has a rich history of fashion and of craft. It is here, within the storied legacy of haute couture, that the city's artisans blend the structured elegance of English tailoring with the flair and fluidity of Italian style, distilling the best of both traditions while adding their own distinct French nuance. And of course, all of it executed with the precision and perfectionism that defines craftsmanship in France. The city's bespoke tailors, shirt makers, and shoemakers hold a special place within the world of menswear. What one can find in Paris can truly not be found anywhere else in the world. And this is one of the characteristics of the city that draws me back time and time again. Well, that all ends today as I step inside one of the country's most well-respected tailors, Camps de Luca, to learn about their new Atelier de Luca service and commission my first bespoke suit from one of the city's most famous bespoke tailors. Charles.
How you doing?
Bonjour, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Welcome to Paris.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be back in Paris.
Kirby.
Clara, nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
It's always a pleasure to be in a tailoring shop, and I have to admit that I haven't had the occasion and privilege to really explore much of Parisian tailoring. So thank you for inviting me.
Welcome.
Exciting to be here. And of course, Parisian tailoring is a distinct category in and of itself. I mean, everyone knows so much about English tailoring, about Italian tailoring, but I feel as though, people don't know as much about the beauty of Parisian tailoring as they should, because it's a long tradition here that is really, in many ways, developed to be something different from both English and Italian tailoring and something very unique.
It's true. It's starting with our grandfather, Mario, come from Italy, and actually he met someone, Joseph Camps, and they make a creation together to create the Camps de Luca.
Okay.
And they create their own style. So they mixed Italian style, English, and a little bit of Spanish,
Yeah.
So it's a mix, combination of the best of everyone.
Yeah.
And we try to make the Parisian style with it. you
Yeah.
know. And it's true, we don't speak about French tailors so much because we are few, first of all. We are more discreet, maybe. And we speak mainly for women's haute couture.
Yeah.
And men is like a little bit below this.
Yeah.
But we are now the third generation, and we try to speak about it and try to promote this and to show how we can do a nice work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what's interesting about French tailoring is the tradition of the French tailoring houses has really evolved to be completely different than that of the Italian and the English that relies so heavily on outworkers. And, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Paris and in France, all of the tailors, all of the staff really are full-time employees of the house. So that's why in Paris you see fewer tailoring houses because it's more difficult to sustain.
It's actually true, and we try, I think most of French tailors are trying to keep their all the workers, everyone who works with us closely. So all the workshops are mostly in center of Paris, which is quite unique for otherwise they are a bit outside. But we're trying to keep it as a family, a small workshop, and that we can actually control everything, oversee everything. And it's true, we don't have like the English tailor, Savile Row or something like this. So we are a bit more spread into Paris, and it's a bit less strong image. But in the know-how, of course, as Charles was saying, we took kind of the best of each tailoring. I mean, we still have a lot of structure because from the English tailors, but we include some movements and some fluidity in the suits, so which is closer to the Italians.
Yeah.
And it's a mix. After the Spanish, it's because of our history. Mr. Joseph Camps, which was Spanish, and he had a real vision of tailoring. Our grandfather, Mario De Luca, had the eye, the Italian eye. He was less into applying technique, but he was really in the contact with the client to understand what they were looking for, and this combination made a real strong identity, Camps de Luca, in the French, in the Parisian and French tailoring.
Yeah, well, it's an incredibly competitive market in Paris. And one of the things that, again, that has always fascinated me is that combination of, the English, the Italian, the Spanish, but also the legacy of haute couture that you have in Paris itself. Because from what I know about a Camps de Luca suit is that there is, in fact, an incredible amount of handwork, even more than what you would find maybe possibly in a Savile Row bespoke suit, that in many ways kind of makes it distinctly French and distinctly Parisian.
Yeah, it was since the beginning. We always are very precise on details, and this is our touch. This is really the Camps de Luca philosophy, to finish the product, everything by hands, and to put kind of inside of it. You know, to really spirit. Yeah, to show that there is people who spend time, hour, and pleasure doing this.
Yeah,
because this is the more important things.
Yeah,
to take pleasure and to show envy and beauty.
Yeah, and excellence in craft, which, again, whenever one thinks of Paris and its incredible legacy with haute couture that is maybe best known amongst women's wear and high fashion, but you still see that perhaps in a much more discreet way in the suits that a firm like Camps de Luca is making.
Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We try to push until the end and until the point we can, the handwork in our suits and our, so yes, it's since the beginning, and we try to keep it and not skip some part of it and using sewing machines. And we really want to keep the roots of the making of suits.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the hallmarks of a Camps de Luca suit? Because it is a very identifiable house style. I mean, there's subtlety to it, but like so many, luxury goods, if you will, if you know what to look for, those hallmarks are there to identify a Camps de Luca suit, but only to those that know, because there's really, like a fashion brand, there's no label. It's all in the subtle details.
Yes, it's part of like the discretion, to be discreet and to. So you can see on my sister. This is the first suit we make to her. Now we're making women,
suit,
and on her it's perfect. Yeah. So you have the lapel, okay? This angle is really typical part of our design. Yeah. Okay, it's the fish mouth, how we can say it in English, okay? And this, we make it the collar pretty high from the collar here. So it's like a kind of visual impact that directly when you see the jacket, you can see that this lapel is from Paris, first of all. And you can identify more from Camps de Luca.
Camps de Luca, yeah.
After that, we are doing like shoulders with inside of a little bit of padding inside, like a kind of cigarette, we call it in French. And it's a kind of small materials that we put inside to make the sleeve a little bit more round, to make it more structures, but very softly.
Okay.
So it's not After that, we have details inside of the jacket, which we have a teardrop pocket.
Yeah.
This is a specific house pocket, and we can make only by hand. So that's we keep it, and all the stitchings that you can see. Overstitching is made by hand.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a visual impact that when you look at it closer, you can see all the small points and details that there is.
Yeah.
There is a story that I have a customer who was in the plane. He was taking off his jacket. And another customer was inside the plane also, and he said, "Oh, here comes the Luca customer."
Yeah.
And they spent 12 hours. It was Singapore, Paris, sticking each other because they change the seat and they speak about tailoring and all what they can like about ties, shirt, and all this. And it was funny, this story. Yeah. Just with one look, you can know which is your tailor, where it come from.
Yeah. And these are all subtle details and hallmarks. I mean, I would imagine, if you were to open a jacket, there's in fact no label, sewn in to the lining itself, is there?
I will show you.
Yeah, oh, great. Yeah, but to see inside of a jacket is always very exciting because, there's so many details that once the garment is complete, you would largely miss.
This is, it's a full canvas, handmade stitchings, you see. So it's taking the structures of the jacket, of the material. This is a really light material for summer. And you still have the chest, which is designed, you have some strong reflection of impact here.
Yeah, Amazing. And everything is, Camps de Luca as a pure bespoke expression is done at that highest level where the canvassing and the chest is being built up layer by layer specifically for that client. It's not a pre-made or a pre-formed.
No. The canvas can be only made for each customer because we try to work on the chest to give volumes, and it's need to be identify where we need to work it, because you can be stronger here or you can be stronger here. So we need to adapt and to make the volumes properly equal.
Yeah.
So that's the definition of the canvas that we're making.
Yeah. And all that work on the canvassing is being done, on the inside, so that whenever you look at the jacket yourself, okay, you might have a few darts, but you're not seeing the work that's required, the scaffolding, if you will, to create that structure.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
The
Correct.
skeleton inside.
The skeleton. Yeah.
Exactly.
And how would you describe a Camps de Luca jacket? Is it heavily structured, unstructured, or kind of in between the structure that one would expect maybe from an English suit versus the unstructured nature of an Italian suit? Camps de Luca is really in the middle?
We are really in the middle, and the only things that we are very concentrated on it is to work on to make
chest.
the developed chest. Yeah, like this. We know that it's like giving volumes, and it's also is going to help you to shape the jacket, to give some silhouette,
Yeah.
And this is is the heart of what we're looking for, to make it, to have most chest that the customers have.
Yeah.
To say it like this.
And then jacket, everything, the lines are falling from this.
Yeah.
So the back, the waist that you will work on after, everything comes from there.
Yeah. Wow.
And all the stitching you can see.
Wow. All the pick stitching and everything.
Yeah.
So this is that iconic teardrop pocket.
Yeah, it's true. There is a story about it. You want to explain it?
Yes, behind it, it was actually thought by our grandfather, linked to a specific client
Okay.
who wanted his lighter
really?
to be available.
I like this man.
A smoking cigar.
Yeah.
So this is the shape of the actual lighter.
Really? Okay.
And it was made to be accessible to it.
Wow. And this was a detail that he dreamt up.
Exactly.
And of course, Camps de Luca, being at the highest level, was able to say, sure, we'll make a completely one-of-a-kind pocket that fits this, and then it became part of the house style.
And then
Yeah.
it became a mark of our house, and it's unique.
Yeah.
You don't see it anywhere else. So
But-
it was a good idea to keep it.
Yeah,
as
but
a
it's
symbol.
also an example of a firm like Camps de Luca's commitment to the craft without regard to the work. Because in order to make a pocket like this, I would imagine it takes significantly more time than, just a simple straight pocket.
And to build it and to thought about
Yeah.
the design of it. Also, it took hours
Yeah.
for them to rethink this.
Yeah,
But yes, it's not a typical straight pocket.
Yeah.
You really have to put some handwork in it, and everything is built by hand.
yeah. Is there anything else, unique or differentiated about a jacket from Camps de Luca?
So we have often two vents in our style.
Yeah.
Okay. We have the fish lapel. After that, we have two vents. It's mainly two buttons, but we adapt. Every customer asks us what they want, and we can do it.
So it's not a rigid house style, but it's...
You need to give freedom and pleasure to the person who wants to have something different.
Yeah.
If he is going to ask me for really something totally Italian or Napolitan, I will say, please go to find the best one for this. But if you want some specific from our house, and you have some particular details or pleasure of doing a sleeve like this, or 6 buttons, 4 buttons in the sleeve, we can adapt it.
Yeah.
It's normal. It's bespoke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of our clients also building a wardrobe. So sometimes they want to have one a little bit different.
Yeah.
So of course we adapt to this, and but we have our style, and people going through our door, they usually know
Yeah.
the characteristic of a Camps de Luca suit, and they must research for this.
Absolutely. And so the vent right here, I mean, this is quite a deep pocket.
The vents is what, when you see the jacket from the back, we need to see only the back and not the vents. So basically, we just make a small mark where we see the vents are finishing with the line of the back, and we just press it like this. It's folded here, and so when you're walking, you never see the vents open too much, and you don't see the materials in the back.
So very
this
crisp.
is the spirit of it.
Yeah.
So it's again a small touch of details that is particular from our house because we're doing this since the beginning.
Yeah. You know, I know, of course, the firm continues to evolve. And one of the things that Julien was telling me about was the new Atelier de Luca offer. So Camps de Luca, of course, being that pure bespoke at the absolute highest level. You know, an incredible amount of handwork. I mean, all of the details. But, you know, let's be honest, you know, as Nick Fowkes would say, it's not an expensive garment, it's a costly garment because of the amount of handwork. It's not something that, you know, everyone is able to maybe access, you know, at a younger age like myself. But the Atelier de Luca offer is taking that same kind of house style and commitment to fit and design, but making it slightly more accessible. Is that correct?
It's true. So basically, when we decided to create Atelier de Luca, we was like thinking what we can do. Okay, we have bespoke tailor. We know how to make suits. We know how to make the pattern. We know the details of the suit, how to make it. There is a missing offer in the market. What is it? You have the full bespoke Camps de Luca. You have ready to wear. And in the middle, there is like half bespoke, made to measure, made to order, this kind of definition. So basically, we say we are going to take everything we know from the bespoke, how to make a pattern, how to make a fitting, how to dress the customer. And we're going to reduce the cost of production basically by less handworks, okay? And we are going to make it in our workshop.
Okay.
So we are totally independent. And this is part of the key things that we start this project.
Okay.
We don't want someone to control it because we are doing it by ourselves and we know how to make it. So it was really important for us, this. So we go on this direction. To be honest with you, at the beginning, it was not working very well because it was new on the market. But now we are really finding our customers because, as you say, not everyone have full capacity of buying or want to spend this amount of money on a suit.
Absolutely.
So it's depending on what you like or want. And this option is really giving the pleasure of having a bespoke suit, but with less handworks and details that we're making. But the structures, the philosophy, the spirit is still the same because it's made by me, my brother, my sister, and my dad. And this is the more important thing. So that's what we wanted to create, and we are honestly very proud of this product because it's a new way of like giving a beautiful jacket, trousers to someone who don't want to afford or cannot afford the full bespoke handmade.
You know, as Nick Fowkes says, I mean, it's not expensive, it's costly. And with a pure bespoke garment like Camps de Luca, I mean, there's an incredible amount of handwork and time that goes into crafting that. And like many, you know, bespoke garments, it's, shall we say, costly. But, you know, with introducing a little bit less handwork, maybe a little bit more machine work, you're able to make something much more accessible, which is a good thing, because the more people wearing suits, the better.
I agree.
It's hard to estimate how much time we spend on a suit.
Yeah.
But we had to make a difference between Camps de Luca and Atelier de Luca. What we're saying is we can spend around 80 to 100 hours on a Camps de Luca suit.
Yeah.
Which is reduced by half for the Atelier de Luca.
Yeah.
Of course, the sewing machine involved in process allows us to be faster. In terms of fitting also, which is important, we never say at the customer Camps de Luca, we're going to have, 1-2 fitting and that's it, bye-bye. It's 4, 5, or even limited until the piece is getting out perfect.
Until it's where you want it to be.
Exactly. Until they reach the point where we are satisfied and the client is satisfied. With Atelier de Luca, we never let a suit go out without being satisfied. But it's linked also with the offer. So we have 3 fittings, which includes the measurements, which include a first fitting, which is with with the fabric or with another fabric.
Okay.
It could happen. And then we have a second fitting,
Yeah.
which the color won't be finished, for example, and the length of the trousers will not be finished.
Yeah.
And all this will be managed during the second fitting.
Yeah.
Also, your sleeves will be adjusted.
Yeah.
And then the third meeting, or fourth, it depends on how fast we went, during the first and second fitting, we can actually deliver
Yeah.
the suit.
The finished suit. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
we're saying it's between 2-3 meetings, and Camps de Luca will be 4,
Unlimited,
5,
yeah.
and more.
Yeah. More. Yeah. Absolutely.
So to
Yeah.
quantify and to really mark the points, it's those numbers which will matter.
Yeah.
But the Atelier de Luca will have a really refined details as
Yeah.
well. The buttonholes will be made by hand. A lot of during the process, a lot will be also made by hand.
Yeah. And does it still have those hallmarks that one would recognize in a Camps de Luca suit, like the fish mouth, notch on the lapel and the collar, those kind of signatures?
Now we are doing it. At the
Okay.
beginning, when we started, Julian and me, we was fighting about this because for him, the Camps de Luca lapel stay only for the Camps de Luca, which I understand perfectly, the
Yeah.
idea. But when we see that all the tailors in Paris are making copy, or
Yeah.
like the Camps de Luca lapel, I was like,
Yeah.
this is our DNA,
Yeah.
why we're not going to do it? So for Camps de Luca, for Atelier de Luca, we're doing also the lapel of Camps de Luca because these are natural, it's like born with us.
Yeah.
And we have the sleeves, we have the visual impact of it. But when you're going to look at all the details, a well-known person that, as
Yeah.
you are,
Yeah.
will definitely see the difference.
Yeah, I mean, the aggregation of those small details really do matter. But one of the things that I find very fascinating is that, again, the pattern is being drafted by a master bespoke tailor, and that have really inherited and are perpetuating that legacy and that tradition that now is going on 3 generations. So
True.
that's exciting. Well, it wouldn't be a trip to Paris without shopping. I've already been by Charvet, but yeah, I've always been fascinated by Parisian tailors, and particularly Camps de Luca, because we all know the other Parisian tailors, and just like Savile Row tailors, there's a variety, and I've always felt that Camps de Luca is really that perfect, that perfect expression of French subtlety, right? I mean, you've got very loud, French style, but you also have very discreet French style. And I've always respected Camps, for the work that it does, but also the discretion that it's always taken. I'm sure there's, I'm sure there's exceptions to that. But it would be really exciting to try the Atelier de Luca. Offering kind of commission my own first piece.
With pleasure.
Camps, maybe one day, right? We have to have something to look forward to, and that is I think truly a product of arrival. I mean, the Camps de Luca is the best, but Atelier de Luca would allow me to, let's say, kind of experience that firm DNA and that
let's try it.
that process. So
With pleasure.
what do you think? I mean, I'm, as everyone on the channel knows, I am often accused of dressing like an undertaker from the 1950s, but, there's something that I love in a beautiful navy suit. I mean, Claire, I'm looking at the suit that you're wearing right here, and I would imagine that, it's in many ways you could be thought of like a uniform. You could wear it every day, different shirts.
Definitely.
And whenever one is investing in something like a suit from Camps de Luca, a suit like the Atelier de Luca, I think, approaching it, at least in the beginning, almost from an investment standpoint, is at least how I think of it. So,
Versatile
versatile,
piece
yeah.
that you can actually wear anytime and anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'd like to focus on something maybe slightly foundational. And it would be interesting also to consider, maybe, a trouser and two different jackets or something, all cut from the same cloth that would allow me to really make it even more versatile by turning one piece into
4 pieces.
ones,
It's very smart.
Would you consider West Coast?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love a nice waistcoat, and it's funny. I think double-breasted suits and waistcoats, at least in London, I see as really coming back into vogue. I was at dinner the other night with some of my best-dressed friends, and I was slightly out of place as the only one in a single-breasted jacket with no waistcoat.
Oh.
Okay, let's look at this.
And would you say that, again, kind of thinking about Camps de Luca and the firm's history, do you have a particular, emphasis on single-breasted versus double-breasted, or is that just all part of the customer preference mix?
Really customer preference.
Yeah.
One point I wanted to point for Atelier de Luca, the actual drop pocket that we talked about will be only for Camps de Luca line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is no exception on this.
There is no exception on this. It's the heritage, and we kept it as this.
Well, I assume so much, considering the amount of handwork
Yes.
that goes into just the creation of that one pocket, but this is the beauty of pure bespoke, right? Is the ability to really indulge and embellish.
It's true.
So this is nice. I mean, a nice navy. This is similar to what you're wearing, beautiful, but I think for a suit might be too much. I mean, what would you recommend, in terms of fabrics? Because I think, again, one of the things I love about a great bespoke tailor is their command and knowledge of fabric. I look at a book like this and I'm overwhelmed, and I have a hard time sometimes envisioning how something goes from a swatch to a finished garment.
Yeah, that's
really hard.
you
guys see that every day.
Yeah.
I would suggest, if we're comparing these two blues, that this one will be easier to mix with everything. During the day, night, you can change. With waistcoats, it's like more dressy, or like you take off the waistcoat. This one is a little bit lighter, brighter, and more shining.
Yeah, I mean, this is a true navy, whereas that almost hints, as a blue.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, okay. And I find that, even though in Paris I'm wearing a tan suit, so this is an exception, but I find that I'm most comfortable in darker colors. And I don't know if it just is the contrast with my complexion, but dark grays, dark navies, I find are much more easier for me to wear, and I'm certainly more comfortable wearing them than lighter fabrics.
It's easier to match with different shirts, a little bit of pattern in your ties, and it's easier for sure.
Yeah.
For everyday life, when you want to dress up, then a lighter color, you really need to think about the end of the silhouette and the end of the look. Yeah. Really.
Anyway, you always need a basic navy suit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't think it's a piece that I have. And as I look at my wardrobe, one of my first made-to-measure garments was a navy double-breasted suit, but that was ages ago. And I love it, right? It's been a workhorse, but to be able to, let's say, reimagine that and upgrade it at a higher quality level, I think is something that I would enjoy.
With pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. And so I think it'd be great to do, a double-breasted jacket, a single-breasted, and maybe two suits, right? So we do one double-breasted with waistcoat, single-breasted waistcoat, and two trousers, right? So that would give you.
I love the idea. It's the first time for me.
Like 9 different ways to wear it. Right?
I love it. I really love it.
So it'll be the last double-breasted suit or the last navy suit I ever need. We just have to make sure that we include very generous inlays.
Let me speak to Julian, and we will make this.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, this is exciting. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Julian. Bonjour, great to see you.
Bonjour.
And I must say I'm excited to finally take the plunge on my first Atelier de Luca piece. So,
welcome. Bienvenue.
I guess they volunteered you to do the honors.
Yes, so I will take the measurements and we can start just with the jacket, just to see a few things. And 47.
Now, what's unique about the Atelier de Luca is that you're doing the pattern just the same tailors that are doing the pattern for the Camps de Luca.
Yes.
Right. You and your brother, and I guess your father as well. But is he?
No, he's solely on Camps de Luca. Yes. So it's for us to do, and he supervises. Yes. You always need the father to supervise everything. 98.
And so both you and your brother learned pattern drafting from your father?
Yes, yes. 86.
When did you start? 6 years old?
No, actually quite late. When I started in the company after my second life of working.
Okay.
So it was a learning process, which is really interesting because it requires a lot of thinking and seeing the body from 3D, taking it down back to 2D, and then back to 3D for the finished garment. So it's a nice gymnastic, intellectual gymnastic, and I think Dad was very kind to give us the good tips of his learning process throughout the years. And no, it's
this is why many tailors learned from their parents, because that passing on of the tradition from father to son, let's say, flows much more freely than learning from someone else, and may hold back a few of these secrets, or enjoy seeing let's say some of the difficult parts of learning by mistake.
Yes, that was more the issues my dad had, because he the generation before him were a bit like this, hiding the way.
Making you earn it,
Yes, exactly.
Not that you didn't, but
it was too easy for us. So, but no, it's a good process as well to learn with the mistakes and to learn as time goes.
We can't avoid all the mistakes, I would imagine.
No. 98. Sorry.
Okay. And so whenever you're drafting the pattern, are you is it different for Camps and Atelier?
No, it's the same way we do things, but the interior inside is different. The amount of handwork that we do is very different, and that's what will make the real difference between the two.
Yeah. And one of the things I again think is interesting about the handwork is that handwork doesn't really exist solely for the sake of handwork and embellishment. There is a functional value and pragmatic value to the handwork that allows a better garment, and that's part of the stretch of the Camps de Luca
and everything that comes with the handwork as well. I think it is important, but with the way we've drafted the Atelier line and everything, I think we try and get best of both worlds, really. 34. 65.
And where all are you traveling to?
I travel to a few different places, and we try and do now trunk shows in New York. We go to Dubai, and sometimes we just travel to see just one client, and this is more for Camps de Luca. And Atelier, we're going as well to Hong Kong and Singapore. This is more Charles than I.
Okay.
That goes to these places, and
of course those in Paris.
And of course Paris.
So how many measurements is it in total?
I think 32.
30?
I should check that number before.
But plus or minus.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is exciting. So about how long does it take to go from measurements to first fitting?
We can see each other in probably 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4
for
weeks.
the first fitting.
Oh, really? That's quite quick.
And but I think we're meeting in
New York. Yeah.
soon.
Unfortunately, I won't be back in Paris in 3 to 4 weeks. But the beauty of having you now travel to the United States is that I can see you in New York. Great excuse to fly up to New York.
Perfect.
Yeah, Julian, this is great. So
thank you.
Thank you for everything. And
Pleasure.
Of course, very excited to see this project kick off, and can't wait for that first fitting.
Perfect.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.